Real Madrid at home against Leganes on a Saturday evening. This was a game that had just about everything. Both sides had plenty of reasons to be excited, although we know that the two sides were fighting for two very different things. Separated by just about 20 minutes or so, Leganés on the outskirts of the Spanish capital. And as you would expect, Real Madrid in the first half, coming forward on a number of occasions, threatening to score. Luka Modric among them. He started this game, along with Arda Güler, along with Brahim Diaz. And Fran Garcia set up this opportunity as Bellingham laid it off for Modric. One of a multitude of stops on the line for Leganés. This one from Sergio González. The captain was everywhere for his club tonight. There was intent from both sides throughout this game. This one from Diaz forced a skimming save out of Dimitrovic. He was to be tested on more than one occasion, and Madrid trying to sift through the lines of a defense that stayed further back quite often. This chance for Kylian Mbappé, stopped by Dimitrovic, who got his hand in there in time. And on the ensuing corner, Arda Güler goes down in the box, and the referee, Pablo González Fuertes, points directly to the spot. The replay would show that this was a tough one, because Oscar Rodriguez did indeed tap the ball, but Güler was there in time as well. It was not the type of call that was going to get overturned once it was called on the pitch. And so that allowed Kylian Mbappé to step up and score his 21st goal of the season in some style. A little panenka that almost had Dimitrovic figured out. He had almost gotten there. In fact, he realized it and just couldn't get back to the ball in time. It was a good enough penalty from Mbappé. 21st of the season at the time put him two back of Robert Lewandowski's 23 for the Pichichi in La Liga. So Madrid take a 1-0 lead. That goal comes at the 31-minute, 38-second mark, and this is 82 seconds later. Valentin Rosier down the right. Diego Garcia, thank you very much. Leganés level 82 seconds after the Mbappé goal. No problems with offside for a number of reasons. It turns out to be the response that Leganés needed right in the moment. Rosier does the hard work down the right-hand side, and you can see that Fran Garcia and Lunin are both in front of Garcia, who just has to tap it home. His third goal of the season. He scored the last time Leganés won a game. That was against Getafe. He scored in stoppage time of that one. This one, though, brought what was an even game back to level ground, and we were back to square one, and so it was back to the drawing board for Real Madrid, and they continued to try. This chance for Brahim just passed him by with too many black shirts surrounding him in the ultimate moment when he needed to put it home. It got a little frantic for both sides after the Garcia goal. Enough hard work done from the Leganés defenders. And off of this turnover, it got even more interesting. Rosier, again, who was everywhere on this night, makes the diagonal run. Oscar Rodriguez gets it back, and Dani Raba does not miss from there. What a moment for Leganés. The first time that they've ever led at the Santiago Bernabeu. Just before halftime, they take a 2-1 lead. This their fifth La Liga game at this venue in the club's history. And no doubt one of the proudest moments that they will have. Down a goal at the half-hour mark. Up a goal at halftime. Sixth of the season for Raba that leads Leganés in La Liga this year. It was Oscar's assist to make up for the fact that he had committed the penalty leading to Madrid's goal as well. And an easy put away beyond the keeper Lunin, who was starting for the 5th time this year with Thibaut Courtois out. Right before halftime, Mbappé had a chance to make it 2 for Los Blancos, had his shot pushed aside and then got a second chance at it. The header, though, bouncing wide. Dimitrovic up to the task to make the first save. It was a solid response from Madrid, but we would go into halftime with Leganés in the lead, which means the second half had to start strong, and it was a fortunate sequence for Madrid that brought them back level. This 90 seconds into the second half. Renato Tapia saves it off the line, but it bounces off the crossbar, and the first man to it is Jude Bellingham, his 8th of the season in La Liga, and that's what makes it 2-2. It was his initial shot that was stopped by Dimitrovic. The follow-up from Brahim, saved by Tapia, but you can't keep the second one out. And you watch the Leganés defenders ball watching. Somebody's got to be there. It cannot be Bellingham who gets to that ball first. And that's the difference in a game like this. A game played on the margins. Really nicely saved off the line. There's the bounce. Bellingham, yeah, I'll take that. Just anticipating that the ball would fall to him, and it did. So now Leganés tried to respond, and this was their chance. Diego Garcia again, claims of a penalty not heard. And in this case, it was a chance missed. This is immediately following the Bellingham goal as well. And Garcia just unable to get his bearings right. Raba's through ball feeds Garcia almost perfectly, but he scuffs the last effort. And that kept Madrid in a position of power. Mbappé stung the mid-drift of Dimitrovic on more than one occasion. And then an outside of the boot from Luka Modric allowed Fran Garcia to look for the cutback, and Mbappé was there. He kept it for Brahim, who hits the post. The outside of the post, though, coming to Leganés' aid. As Madrid continued to push, looking for their third. They then had this moment from Luka Modric. There was some frustration after the fact as well, when Antonio Rudiger just pushed his body into Dani Raba. That's when Madrid decided to make their changes. Rodrigo, Vinicius all started on the bench, although they would make their presence felt very quickly. Rodrigo would draw this free kick, and this would be one of the deciding moments of the game. Tapia commits the foul, gets a whole chunk of Rodrigo's leg, and on the ensuing free kick, Kylian Mbappé, have at it, please. The go-ahead goal that Madrid were looking for. 22 now on the season for Mbappé, which at the conclusion of Saturday night's proceedings brings him within 1 of Robert Lewandowski. And it was a poor shift from the Leganés wall that allows him to go directly through it beyond Dimitrovic and into the lead. 3-2 for Madrid. That was the lead that they were then tasked with holding on to for the final 15 minutes. You can see everybody shifted except Diego Garcia. And so then Leganés had to respond, and they almost did on a couple of occasions. That shot from Oscar ended up as a corner. And in the final 15 minutes, Leganés were the better side. They were the side with more energy coming forward. Juan Cruz had a chance, but they needed to keep these shots on target. That was one of the times that they managed to do it. It's a decent effort from Cruz. He wasn't heard from a ton in this game, but he did a lot of the dirty work. Those were the types of shots that, as mentioned, needed to stay down. Dani Raba taking his chance. And then Oscar in for Darko Brashenak, whipping it across Munir. The substitute coming on with a header that had Borja Jimenez dropping to his knees. It was all Leganés trying to push through and look for the equalizer late. This foul from Oscar means he's unable to partake in next weekend's affair against Osasuna. A late sliding challenge on Rudiger. Madrid tried to slam the door shut a couple of times. Vinicius trying to inject his presence into the game. Yan Diomande was another factor late as he goes down here. He claimed that he was brought down, and he may have had a point, but there was also a connection with the ball on the challenge from Asencio. He gets a little bit of the ball, a little bit of the man. He gets the ball first. And so although it was looked at and it resulted in a corner, it wasn't to be. Diomande with a weak finish in his La Liga debut, his Leganés debut. That's how it ends. Leganés cannot come back in the end, and Madrid get the 3 points. Real Madrid 3, Leganés 2.